Welcome back to week 71. We're going to jump right into it because I'm so excited to share my results after doing the most this week by tracking all of my meals, all of my drinks, any snacks that I enjoyed, by making sure I was getting quality sleep at night, and by keeping up with my daily steps and with my dumbbell workout in the garage. I was able to come in at 192.2 pounds. And based on my weigh-in last week at 193.4, friends, that means I lost over a pound this week, putting me at officially 73.2 pounds lost since I started back in February of 2025. Over the last 71 weeks, that means I am still averaging over a pound lost each week. I'm so excited because I know I'm working really hard, so it was really sort of validating to see the results translate onto the scale as well. I didn't even tell you the best part. It's Shark Week for me, and even with my increased cravings, with bloating, and with water retention, I was still able to lose over a pound. Let's go! Now, last week I asked you guys to ask me some questions in the comments, and today I'm gonna answer all those questions. But before we get to that, sadly, our Prime Bites contestant never reached out. So that means I'm picking a new winner, and I'm doing that with you right now. There were 156 entries. If you entered after the drawing closed last Wednesday, I'm sorry, I cannot put you in there. But we're going to go ahead and spin and see who our new winner is. And our winner is number six. Congratulations to the winner. I'm going to go ahead and pin your account in the comment. Please, please, please be sure that you reach out to me by email. My information is in my bio so that I can get your prize out to you. Now let's get to this week's questions. In no particular order, one of the questions I got was, what is your nationality and do you speak any other languages? I was actually born in the beautiful city of Barranquilla, Colombia. That's actually the same city where Shakira is from. You know Shakira, the Waka Waka or the Die Die Let's Go Shakira from the World Cup? That is the same city that I was born in. I actually have not been back there since I was a kid, but I have the best memories before we traveled actually to the States. Spanish is actually my first language. I am fluent in it, but at this point, technically, I have lived in the United States longer than I lived in Colombia, so at times I still actually forget words. Next question is, would I ever make a video in Spanish? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody would watch it. I'm not sure how it would perform here on YouTube. So maybe I will let you guys decide. I'll put up a poll and see if you guys are interested in me sharing my GLP-1 experience in Spanish. My next question is, where does your name come from, and is it Grace or Grace? This is one of my favorite questions. My godmother actually named me. She was visiting the States when she fell in love with the name Grace, inspired by the beautiful actress Grace Kelly, who later became the Princess of Monaco. My parents wanted people to pronounce my name correctly in Colombia, so they spelled it Greys, because phonetically in Spanish, it sounds like Grace. When I started my YouTube channel, it was actually losing it Grace, but my YouTube analytics suggested that I change it to something more search-friendly like Grace, Grace. I don't care which one you use, Grace or Grace, I'm gonna answer to both. The part that actually drives me crazy is when people add an apostrophe to my name, because neither Grace or Grace actually has one. I'm not sure where that came from. I think it's from Grey's Anatomy, but yeah, it's definitely no apostrophe. Happy to just answer to Grace or Grace. Whew. Okay, this next question is a tough one. Have higher doses affected your mental health? I can only speak from my own experience, but personally, I don't feel like the medication has affected my mental health negatively. If anything, I feel happier, more confident, and I definitely have a more optimistic outlook on life. I have not talked much about mental health here on the channel, primarily because I don't want to say something that's going to get me a strike here on YouTube. I'm not sure what's allowed to be shared about mental health, but I have always been open and transparent with you guys, and I will share. I have been diagnosed with recurrent, moderate, major depression. For me, this isn't something that is constant every single day. It comes in episodes. I'll have long periods where I'm doing really well, and then life stress, hormonal changes, or other factors will trigger an episode. Growing up, mental health was just something that we didn't really talk about. And looking back, I'm sure in my early adulthood, I likely struggled with depression, but I never sought help because it felt so taboo. After my son was born, I did experience postpartum depression. I remember trying to open up to a family member, and they said they couldn't understand how someone with a healthy baby could feel sad. You can only imagine the amount of guilt that overwhelmed me at the moment. I have an amazing husband. I have 2 healthy children. I have the most beautiful, blessed life. So you can imagine how confusing it was to feel the way that I did. Thankfully, my healthcare provider at the time recognized that something wasn't right with me, and starting treatment really made a difference in my life. Now, whenever I recognize that I'm slipping back into an episode, I go right back to my treatment. Mental health deserves the same compassion and care as physical health. And I wanted to share that because I know someone watching might need to hear it. If you would be interested in a dedicated video about my experience regarding depression, tell me in the comments so that I can add that to my list. Now let's lighten the mood. The next question, it was really kind of funny. The reply was funny, not the question. So there was a very sweet question that asked me, how have my kids reacted to my weight loss? And it really left me thinking like, oh my God, that's true. Like, do my kids notice? Do they see the changes that I'm doing? Do they see the change in my body? But honestly, they haven't even noticed. I had conversations with my 3-year-old and with my 7-year-old, and their replies were about the same. My son is 7, and I asked him, hey, have you noticed that mommy's body has been changing? Have you noticed like how much I'm working out? You know, the changes that I'm making in my meals, the fact that I'm eating less? And his answer was, no, not really. I've been pretty busy with other things. Like, kids are just so funny, right? More than anything, my hope is that as my children grow up, I will help them develop a healthy concept around food so that they don't have the same struggles that I did. One thing that does worry me more than the food now is what they will be eventually exposed to. You know, growing up, my parents were worried about like, you know, are we going to get into like naughty things like alcohol and, you know, other illegal substances? Now my worry is like my kid is going to come home and say, hey mom, I want to get retatrutide, you know, sort of conversation, or one of the other peptides out there that people are using. Okay, the next question was, how is our garden doing? I do have a little update for you, and I'll drop a clip here. My daughter's strawberries have been the biggest success so far. She harvested about a dozen strawberries, and they're definitely her favorite plant. We moved our sunflowers into their own pot. They still haven't bloomed yet, but they look like they're getting close. We also added a lemon tree and a lime tree to the garden. Our tomatoes, well, they're taking their sweet time. Our rosemary seeds never sprouted, neither did our lavender, so we planted basil instead, and that is doing amazing. Unfortunately, after repotting the pumpkin and the watermelon plants, they're looking pretty rough. I'm not very optimistic they'll make it, but we'll keep cheering them on. The next question is, what insurance company do I have? This question was brought on after I shared my compound experience video where I let you guys know that my insurance dropped my GLP-1 coverage. This is one of those things I want to keep private. I will say this though, even if somebody still has the same exact insurance company with the same exact plan name, medication coverage can still be completely different. Coverage depends on things like the employer-specific plan, prior authorizations, medical necessity requirements, and formulary changes. So my insurance really wouldn't tell you whether the medication will be covered or not. Okay, next question is, would you ever collaborate with any other creators or do interviews? This question actually came up in a live from the channel Riding the Tide. If you have not checked Julio out, make sure you go over to Riding the Tide and check out his content. He's a really fun gentleman over there doing amazing on Zepbound. But, you know, he did ask, like, I'm not sure if you are open to collaborating. And believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy and someone's going to say that I'm lying, but I'm actually really shy. If I ever saw you out in the wild and we ran into each other, I'd probably be really awkward because I'm a total introvert. I know that's funny considering that I'm on YouTube, but the difference is when I film, I'm talking to a camera. I don't have an audience staring right back at me. So at first, that was the main reason for me avoiding collaborations, but now it's really evolved into a couple other things. The first being that my story lives right here with you guys on the channel. The second one sits heavy on my heart because the minute I say yes to one creator, I genuinely feel bad saying no to anybody else. Before long, I'd be spending more time recording videos for other people's channels than my own. So for the time being, my focus, my energy and effort, I'm gonna let it live right here on my channel. But never say never. My feeling is that when I get to goal weight and life isn't changing as much from week to week, maybe that'll be the perfect window to reach out to other creators, catch up, and do some interviews. The next question is a spicy one. Will you ever try retatrutide or other gray market peptides? And this is quite the controversial question. My husband and I actually had a conversation about this because yes, I am human and I'm curious. And after I saw Eli Lilly's, clinical trials on retatrutide, of course, I want the next big, best thing to support my weight loss journey. In my conversation with my husband, and please don't misconstrue this, he asked me a simple question. He said, "You have kids. Is that the responsible thing for you to do?" And I could not agree more. I don't know the risks of taking something that has not been studied with a large human trial. Everyone has to make their own healthcare choices, and I'm not here to judge anyone's decisions. But for me, in my personal experience, if my medications are not prescribed from my healthcare provider, I just don't feel comfortable taking them. We have arrived to our last question. Before we wrap this up, double check that you're subscribed to the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If so, hit the like. And if you still have any burning questions for me, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them in the future videos. My last question is, will you ever start channel memberships? This actually was emailed to me. This is something I have struggled with, primarily because I don't love asking people for things, like especially for money. Especially with the way the economy is right now, even just a nominal fee is not something that I feel comfortable with. I also never want anybody to feel left out because they can't afford a membership. That's why I've always tried to make everything available to everyone. That said, I'm curious, am I overthinking this? Would you be interested in memberships? If I ever did start one, I'll be honest, I don't think I'd ever hide regular content behind a paywall. I think the only change I would make if I started memberships is I would do member-only lives. A lot of friends have reached out and asked me, will you ever do a live? And I'm a little hesitant because I'm just terrified of being on live camera and what could go wrong, what somebody could ask, what a troll could say that I would display on the screen. But, limiting to only members would, I think, make me feel a little bit more comfortable. So nobody hold me to that. I'm not making any promises, but tell me in the comments, is that something that you would be interested in? Thank you so much for being here for another week of this journey. Week 71 is officially in the books and we are down 73.2 pounds. I'm going to keep working hard this coming week. I'm going to show up, I'm going to do the most, and I'm hoping to have awesome results to share next week. So be sure to come back. Till next time, let's keep losing the weight. Bye.